This is Dr. J and I am back. This time I would like to talk about 8 spiritual powers to celebrate our on upcoming holidays. Also, our Indian holidays just passed by. We are into the new year of the Indian calendar. So I thought this would be a good way to celebrate our holidays. Working on our inner engineering is perhaps the best way to celebrate our holidays. And 8 spiritual powers will enable us to do that. So let me give you before and I have compiled this knowledge by learning from and reading about and listening to great spiritual leaders. So I'm going to go ahead and give you this in a simplified English version where everybody can understand, and also especially the younger generation, which is my passion, to get the maximum return from learning. So this will be, this is made specifically in a simplified way for people to understand better, and especially in English, so they can understand it. Let's just say, before I start, let me tell you the basic premise of spirituality. The way I see the spirituality is nothing but being smart. You would think, what is smartness about it, right? It is very smart. If you are spiritual, you are very smart. Why? Because it cuts your losses. Situations always are going to be in our lives. We cannot stop them. The situations cannot be changed also always. We cannot change people. But what can we do? You know, we can change ourselves. Just like what Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in others. So let's see if we can change ourselves. And if that is the goal, the self-transformation is the goal, then these 8 spiritual powers will always be able to help us in every situation of our lives. We will be on the journey of discovery. What would we discover? We would discover how to face the challenge and cope with it, how to cope the challenge, and how to live well in every situation. Wouldn't that be great? I would love it. So that's why I have made this humble effort of putting all the 8 spiritual powers in a simplified way, and after learning from the spiritual leaders. So let me thank them first. Thank you for giving me this knowledge and insight. Now we will start. Now, first power. What is the first power? Power to withdraw. Now the name sounds little like, oh, escapism type, right? We're not escaping. We are not escaping from the situation. We are not running away from the heat of the situation. It's simply power to withdraw, meaning power to protect yourself. How do you say that? I can say a turtle. When is it in the challenging situation? Goes in its own shell. And that is called power to protect, right? So power to withdraw is power to kind of protect. So let's see how we do that. First, power to withdraw meaning try connecting with your true identity. You identify your true identity first and connect with it. That is power to withdraw, but the steps of them will be as follows. So what we do first? First you identify your role, which keeps on changing every time, every day, right? But the role identity, it keeps on changing. But one identity we know doesn't change is true identity. I am a pure soul. So giving an example for me, being a doctor, being a mother, being a friend, being a yoga teacher, all these are my role identities. And we have many more which keep on changing in everybody's life. But one thing doesn't change is a true identity. So once we realize that what is my role identity, what is my true identity, and that is the first step. The second step, having identified your role identity, you try to detach your emotions from that role identity. Let's see, give you an example of mother and child. There is a situation between them. Mother needs to disengage all the emotions attached to the motherhood. And that is the way, that is realizing your role identity and then realizing your true identity. Once you disengage all your emotions related to motherhood, now you rest your consciousness. Every machine needs to rest, just like that our mind needs to rest, so that you can get a different perspective. So just a little moment and think, and that resting the consciousness will give you a different perspective. Maybe it will tell you child's perspective, maybe it will different kind, your different options of your perspective. You will realize, and that comes after resting your consciousness. What is the third thing? You de-energize. You de-energize all the negative emotions attached with the situation. De-energize. You have limited judgments about the situation. De-energize those. And then you will have clear-cut picture. You are disengaging from your motherly role, motherly emotions. You are resting your consciousness. You are identifying, first is identifying your role identity. You are disengaging, then you are resting, then you are going to do is de-energize your all the limited judgments associated with the situation. For all this, you need, for the first step, you need a little bit of an awareness. How does this power come into play? By being aware. Many things you can do to be aware. You can do yoga, meditation, pranayama, sit just in a comfortable place, just rest your consciousness in any place. Do a lot of things, churches, temples, anywhere you can go, or just at the house, in one corner. It's just even in between everywhere. If you decide to rest your consciousness, you will be more aware. And you are more aware, you have more role identity. So it's all connected. So little bit of awareness helps us get this power to withdraw. Why do we need it? Because it protects yourself from you and around things around you and the negativity around us. You just go in your shell, protect yourself. Then you face the situation, not running away from the heat of the situation. You are not exercising escapism, but you are understanding these powers to take care of that situation, cut your losses, and be smart. That's being spiritual. So you understood everything, all these steps. You connected your true identity, your role identity you identified. You disengaged your emotions with it, the identity. Then you rested your consciousness, got a different perspective, de-energized all the limited judgments, and you protected yourself. That is what the power to withdraw is. And that's what we want to do. And just get some awareness to exercise this power. If you look at the Indian calendar, there are many goddesses. They represent different powers. So to make it easier for those who understand these goddesses, I'm just going to say briefly that this power is attached and is represented by Parvati, goddess Parvati. Parvati is Lord Shiva's wife. Lord Shiva, when he went for tapasya, that means the deep meditation, away from the world, she stayed behind in the world, but still stayed detached. So she is representing herself with two cows, the milk being the life force. So let's move on to the second power. Now you are ready to exercise the power because you protected yourself. That's the number one thing you always want to do, protect yourself. So now the situation, in the heat of the situation, the second power comes, is power to let go. When do you get the power? What is power to let go? We have heard a lot. Don't hold on to anything and everything. So power to let go is a power to pack. That's also a power to pack. So what we do? You pack up everything. Move on. So what do you let go your hold on the past experiences, past images, past stories, past things, past circumstances, especially past uh, uh, people. Child abuse, sexual abuse, terrorism, ego-related stories, lot of incidences, circumstances which leave a lot of scars in our mind, and then we cling on to them. We all know that past is not going to give us any solutions. It's out of our control. So why do we want to go ahead and cling on to it? But it is still difficult. We all know that, but it is still difficult. Why? Because in a way it is fulfilling. There is a comfort in the familiarity and justifications. Even though it's rooted in the negative experience. Because we use past to justify our current actions. And that's why we keep on clinging to that. But if we want to operate through the purity, we have to exercise this power. What is the power to let go helping us? Let us see. Why should we let go? What are the benefits? I know you know, a lot of times you have heard different places, but let me simplify it. The first, it robs your present moment because you are thinking about past. What is happening at this very moment, it robs the present moment. You lose that. Second thing it does, that it lowers your potential. How? Because by principles of physics, we all know that wherever the energy does not grow in number, it gets transformed. And like Sister Sivani says, wherever the attention goes, energy flows. So if our attention goes to the past, which could be which could be going on for minutes, hours, and your energy is being drained. And then you lower your potential because your energy is less. Then what is the third thing? What it does? It lowers the success. Because your energy is less, so your success, which you can put an effort to for the success, is less. Your alertness is less because you slip in from the past, present moment to past, and your energy and alertness goes down. Alertness goes down, energy goes down. And then what do? Then it lowers the chance of success. What is the other thing it does? It damages your own physical health, also mental health. You guys, we all know that a lot of diseases are connected to the mental health also. So layer of leisure is going to be changing our physical health and mental health. So we build up that layer of leisure, right? What else does it do? Let us see. It takes the present moment away, right? But let's see, it takes the present moment's joy away too. So what happens? You may be, the person whom you're going to meet, you're anticipating, and then you go into the past. Okay, that person did this to me. Now that person may have brought something very beautiful to you, and then you will rob that moment because your past did not allow you to enjoy and have a joy. So you miss out on a lot of joyous moments. Your present wants you to go and work out, and then you want to build up your physical health. But what happens? You're drained by your thoughts and working on the past, and you feel drained, you feel depressed, and you don't feel like going and working out. You don't feel like doing yoga. We don't feel like doing so many things you wanted to do. Why? Because past robbed your present joy, present moments. Right? So your potential is lower, your success rate is lower, you have a very good chance of damaging your physical health and mental health. You lost your joyous moments, which could have been in your present moment. But also what it does is expands our stories. Like I said before, that I have compiled this thing, learning from many different leaders. One of them being Landmark. Landmark has taught me this beautiful concept. What is it? It is that every situation has two things. One is that what actually happened, the truth. And the second is a story, what went around it. Let's take an example. A friend of yours does not go ahead, a friend of ours does not go ahead and call us back. So what happened? She did not call us back. What is the story? The story is that, oh, she didn't call me because she's jealous, or because she doesn't like me, because she's arrogant, or maybe she wants to go ahead and do, she has some agenda in her mind that she wants to do. Many different stories can happen. Good stories can happen too, that maybe she's gone out of town, but everything, or everything which is not the truth, which is related around it, far away from the truth, is called story. So every situation has these two things. So when you are dwelling on the past, you are unable to see the difference between what happened in story and what happens. You expand your story to justify your actions. So that's what it does too. So now you see how many things, and it can go on. I can keep on talking about so many things, but they are mostly related to the not being in the present. So would you not want to cut your losses? Do you want to live in the past, which is we have no control over? Don't we want to unblock the potential, so we know what's, maybe we have something better waiting for us? But like I said, it's a little difficult to do. So how do we do it? Okay, it requires an active intervention. Just by talking is not going to help that much, because it's really in the past, really solidified, especially when you keep on thinking about it. So what do we do? Do an active intervention. What is an active intervention? Is how do we do it? It's like having a child playing with a harmful toy, and the parents want to take that toy away from the child. How do we do that? You don't want to get mad at the child, so you go ahead and slowly replace with another toy, and slowly take that toy away. Something similar. And how do we do that? Take away the past toy of past and give you the toy of present. How do we do that? That active intervention is by doing positive affirmation. And what is the best way to do the positive affirmation? Is a meditation. Meditation with the positive affirmation. May not take that long, but it needs to be done repeatedly, so that all the deeper things which have happened with the thinking about past have to be erased slowly. Deeper it is, more time it will take to erase. So let us see how we do it. Let me give you a small example. Let's do that. You may close your eyes and sit comfortably, or you can keep it open. For the video purpose, I'm going to keep it open. So sit comfortably. I am the being, powerful soul, Shaktishali Atma. That is the Indian word. Shaktishali means powerful Atma. Every thought of mine is my choice. No matter what happened in the past, no matter how big the thing was, no matter how deep the pain was, I, the soul, have a power to delete that pain and let go the experience. Today, now, this moment, this thing, that thought is leaving me, is going away, and it is nowhere to be found. The negative energy is also leaving me, is gone forever, never to come back. And I see it going out, is gone, over. My past is gone. And that is the positive affirmation. And that is your sample of meditation. So that is the thing which you want to do. So with the power to withdraw, we have little awareness we need. So you know how to get that more and more. And then now you know what to do is meditation with positive affirmation. So after you have packed up and moved on, now you are into the third power. But what is representing the second power? What goddess is representing is Durga Ma. She is riding on a lion and claiming the victory over the past. So that's a beautiful representation of goddess Durga. So that brings us to the power number 3. What is that? That's the power to tolerate. Wow, word looks very, very deep, very, very intriguing. Power to tolerate. Why would I tolerate, right? Sometimes you think that way. Some cultures have a negative connotation attached to that. It thinks that tolerate means suffering. But what is it? It's an ability to respond to external, internal events positively without being affected by them. Right? So Helen Keller said, you know Helen Keller? She said, power to tolerate is the greatest gift of mind. And just like tree, what does tree do? Gives all the fruits and vegetables, even though you throw stones at the tree. It's like in the same analogy. So let's see, what is the spiritual meaning of power to tolerate? Power to tolerate is giving unconditional love. And how do you relate power to tolerate to power to give? Let me tell you the grades of the power to tolerate. The basic grade is grin and bear method. Just smile and laugh it away. That's called grin and bear method. It's a basic grade of power to tolerate. It is still a power to tolerate, but at the basic level. What is the second level? It's a power to adapt. It's an ability to adapt to the situation, grow and learn from it. That's the second grade of the power to tolerate. What is the third grade? Higher grade. Sail through the event, sail through the situation without being affected at all. Then you can work with the purity in the mind. That is operating through the higher grades of the tolerance. When you operate through the higher grades of the tolerance, you see the subtle need of somebody in the situation, which could be you. We could be in a subtle need. We have a situation what we are trying to handle, which we are down about, and then there is a subtle need. It's situation about somebody else or anything in anything else. If you examine the situation, you will realize that there is a subtle need there. And most of the time, the need is of love. So the love is considered power to tolerate. So you give that person that unconditional love, and then slowly you can take care of it, including yourself. Once you start giving that unconditional love, like a mother, that's why it's represented by goddess Jagat Amba. Jagat means world, Amba is a name of a goddess who is representing motherhood. That's why it is considered an unconditional love, like parents do, mother does. You mother to everybody. And that is what is power to tolerate. Operating at the higher grades of the tolerance will allow you to do that. And in that case, what you want to do is an ability to see beyond inconsistencies, limitations, judgment. And they say to self-love, to love self, to love the self is the greatest need. We all need the love. So you need to love yourself. You love to give unconditional love. Look beyond our own weaknesses. Look beyond our own failures and a lot of different things, limitations and everything. Look beyond that. And that's when you develop that power to tolerate, and you still love yourself, even though you could not do such and such thing. And it applies to the same to the other people. But when you love your true self, you love your true self. Because that doesn't mean You're not going to teach what is necessary to your role identity. But love your true self because you are a pure soul, and the qualities of the pure souls are only beautiful. So you love your true self, then you're ready to love the world. Then you will see them as children of God, because we are all pure souls and we are all children of God, to be mother to all, just like Jagadamba. So that's the power to tolerate. Operating through the higher grades. What does it require? It requires fearlessness and unconditional love. So complete fearlessness and unconditional love will allow you to learn how to exercise your power to tolerate. So now what is the fourth thing we do? The fourth thing for this power is power to accommodate, power of contentment, represented by Santoshima. Santosh means contentment, goddess of contentment. She has a ball of rice, which all rice is all grains together. So what is an accommodation? Accommodates everybody. It's an ability to accommodate everything around you, your own ideas, other ideas than what you decided, and other people's ideas, their actions, their desires. You accommodate. But one thing we have to remember is staying true to ourselves. If somebody comes and says, let's go and rob the bank, that is not accommodating. That accommodating by staying true to yourself, what you think is true. That is called power to accommodate. Because you learn to adapt and accommodate everybody and accept everybody, but staying true to yourself. So you ask this question to yourself. In this big heart, can I accommodate everybody while staying true to myself? Yes, you can. And that's what you want to exercise. How do you do that now? How do you get this power from? What do you get that power from? Like we got awareness for withdrawal, power to withdraw. We got the active intervention for power to let go. Now and then for the power to tolerate, unconditional love and fearlessness. For this one, you need to exercise flexibility, power of flexibility, openness, respect, being merciful, listening to other people, accepting everything what they are giving. Then you will be able to, and you still stay true to yourself. So that is power to accept, power to accommodate, almost like accept, and that is represented by Santoshima. Now that brings us to the power number 5. What is that? Power to discern. Now we are going to the higher selves. Power to discern. What is power to discern? Is power to know. We call it parak. Power to parak. So what is? It's an ability to know stuff, and who operates at this level is intellect. Divine intellect. It's an art of consulting the most elevated consciousness to understand what is right from wrong, what is falsehood from the truth, what is benefit versus loss, what is illusion versus reality. You will find the differences between all of them. That's the power to discern. And power to discern requires a very high intellect. And when you do that, what do you learn? Respond instead of reacting. So when in the power to accommodate, when we learn that we accommodate everybody, still staying true to yourself, here you know, and you are going to, because in that, like ocean, the river is dumping everything in the ocean takes everything. Now comes the power to discern. Now you're going to talk about, let's say, give you an example of employee and boss. There is a situation between them. An employer wants something done by the employee, and there is a situation. With what energy you approach to the employee is extremely important, and vice versa. That energy should be an energy of response, not reaction. And that comes from power to discern. Because now we know what's right from the wrong. Now we can see what are the future implications, even the present and the future implications, because you have the knowledge. You have the knowledge what's right from wrong, because now you know it. And then you will be able to respond in the situation, and then you'll be able to get your work done by the employee. Because that energy is the one which is going to transmit to her or him, will allow them to see your point of view. But if you react, the things may not go, they can go sour. So that is why it's called power to discern. What does it require? How do you exercise this power? It's by trusting the higher self, trusting your true self, the qualities of yourself, trusting higher self, listening to the deep within, your knowing deep within. So that is what is required to power to discern. And believe me, it looks difficult, but it is not. Once you start exercising all of the powers, this becomes rather easy, because now you are clear. You have packed up all your past. You have moved on. You have accepted others. You have accommodated others. You have stayed true to yourself, and now you know what is right and what's wrong. Right? And that's what is going to help you know from the inner divine things, the divine intellect. That's why it's called power to know. Power to discern is power to know, power of clarification. What is it represented by? Is Gayatri Ma, goddess of Gayatri. She is riding on a swan, and a swan is a representation of the buddhi, intellect. So that represents that Gayatri Ma. Now this brings us to the power number 6. That's power to decide. Power to decide. You already know your course of action by power to discern. You are almost certain what you're going to do, because you know what's right from wrong and what's beneficial or not. You know, you're in your business deal, your future implications, you know what you're going to be benefited and not. So you're going to take a special course of action. You're absolutely certain about it, but without the power to decide, you cannot follow the knowing you have gotten from power to discern. And what is that power to decide? What is it doing different? It is power of truth. Power of truth meaning you're going to stand true no matter what, in what circumstances. People around could be, or peer pressure for youngsters or anybody, could be doing something you don't want to do. Like they are doing a smoking, drug addiction, everything, right? And that's not true. You are not thinking about that's true to yourself. By all the powers you have discerned, it's not good to me. To stay true to yourself is very important. And that is where the power to decide comes. Because you know from the power to discern, they are intrinsically related, that what's right and what's wrong. You have the clarity for deciding, so that's when you decide. Power to decision, power to decide. They say that you stay among everybody. It doesn't mean you abandon those people. Unless they are really negative influence, that's a different story. But most of the time the situations are within the limits of the people. And you don't want to leave them just because you think you are superior. That gives you an arrogance. That's not what you want to do. You stand true to yourself, and power to decide will help you to stay true and still be being with others and not make any judgment on your results. Because power to discern told us that any expectation or our investment into the result of the decision is going to only give you worry, doubt, confusion and disappointment ultimately. So you definitely don't want to do that. You definitely want to exercise your power to decide. You definitely want to stay with the truth, but you definitely want to do it alongside with everybody. With knowing and with the parak, with the discern, then you decide. And that's what you want to do. It's represented by Saraswati Ma. Saraswati is intelligence, knowledge. That's the goddess of knowledge. What does she have in her hands? She has book, So it tells us, write your own script. Don't get into the charisma of anybody. Don't get into the charisma of other people. Okay, there is somebody who wants to do some illegal things, or some simple, let's say, they want to cheat somebody and increase the business, and you are part of the business. You don't want to do it. Don't want to get charisma because the boss tells you that, or somebody rich person, or somebody very successful person. You don't get into the charisma of that. Stay true to yourself. So write your own story. That's represented by the book in Saraswati Ma's hand. And also she's playing guitar. That means write your own song. You sing your own song. You play your own song. But at the same time, she also has a rosary, mala. That means you're staying with all the beads together. Write your own story, play your own song, but still stay together with everybody, because you are not dependent on the result. You are not worried about, okay, if I didn't do this, my boss may not like it, or I don't do this, or I'll this implication. You are not, because that's the truth. So you got to believe that the truth you have chosen, the decision you have chosen, is going to be very beneficial to you, and it is destined to be an accurate, because all other powers, with especially the discern, has told you that it's going to be accurate. So that is destined to be accurate. So that is the power to decide. So we have only discerned, then only decided. Now we are moving on to power number 7, which is power to face. Important power, because you have identified your role identity, you have moved on from that to a true identity, you have reconnected with it. You have packed up everything and forgot the past, let go the past. Now you are in the present. You have learned how to give unconditional love by power to tolerate. You have accepted everybody and accommodated everybody by power to accommodate. And then you have discerned what's right from the wrong with using the divine intellect. Then you have decided what's saying true to yourself. This is what I really want to do. This is my decision. But you need power to face, to execute the decision. So what is power to face? It's an ability to confront and resolve all the external and internal obstacles, tests and challenges. Even though a lot of times it may not be what you want. So that is the power to face. You have the power to face your inner weaknesses. Kill all your demons you have. And then you are ready to use the power to face with purity. Many times the attributes for this. How do you do the power to face? Attributes for this is courage and honesty. So, and fearlessness. So courage and honesty is going to give you that power to face. Courageous. We need to get the courageous and be courageous, and because now you know you are equipped with so many powers. You already have 6 powers before. They have made you very rich. Now you can exercise your courage and fearlessness and honesty. Then there is nothing fearsome to handle, because you are equipped with all the powers. You can take care of any situation which may come. It could be fear, it could be overwhelming emotions, it could be lack of self-worth, it could be attack by other people, it could be demeaning of ourselves by other people, it could be the situation will seem impossible, situations seem to be unsurmountable. In any condition, using all these powers, you have gotten that courage, and you have obtained that honesty feeling with being truth. You have these powers to exercise almost anything you can, and that is called power to face. One thing you have to remember, the power to face cannot be cajoled or negotiated with anybody in anything. Why? Because there cannot be any acceptance of falsehood, from the illusions, from ego, greed, lust, anger, desire, attachment. Those things cannot be tolerated even yourself or supported into others. That's the time when power to face comes. And when you have balanced your power to face, love, self-respect, understanding, compassion, all those things result. And that's when you can kill all your demons and power to face. All those things happen. So this is how you exercise your power to face. And it's represented by goddess Kali, Kalima. She has the mala, the rosary of the cut out heads of the demons. So it represents cut out all your demons and take your challenge, take your honesty, use your honesty, use your truth and power to face. Execute your decision. Discern told us what to do. Decide made us the truthful decision, and now you execute it with the power to face. So that brings us to the eighth power, the last power. What is that? Power to cooperate. Power to cooperate is a beautiful power. What is it? After you have done the whole thing, right? You have cleaned out and now all the negativity is out, you know what's right, wrong, you have exercised all the powers. Now you are ready to use this power to cooperate. But it is an ability to give time, attention, your experience, wisdom to the service of others. Now you are ready to serve. Dharana, that's what we call it. Right? You are ready to dharana, then seva. You implement on your own self and then seva. So it's time to give it to others. And when you give it to others, you do it staying alongside with everybody else without any ownership. Because when you take the ownership, you get that minute arrogance called sukshma ahankar, which does not let you cooperate well. You got to get rid of those vices that we call it in our Indian calendar. We call it Mohammed, Kama, Krodh, Mohammed, Lobh, Mats, right? So in English, it is like lust, anger, desire, attachment, jealousy, envy, all those things, hoarding, all those things are considered vices. When you get rid of all the vices, then you can be alongside with other people without the ownership. And that's when you can use these powers to and this ability to in the service of others. You know, when the attitude is totally detached, and that's when you know your innate knowing of yourself, and that helps facilitate your decision you make, and also it gives you the flexibility of accommodating, adjusting to the situations, accommodating to all the people, and all these things enable us to be benevolent. The fullness starts getting there. You start becoming full because you become benevolent. You have gotten rid of all the vices. Now you are understanding the power to cooperate better. It gets so full to the point it overwhelms. And when it overwhelms, it goes, you don't need, it's beyond the need of being praised or being acknowledged. It's not important. You understand and you share, and the knowledge and the fulfillment. You feel so well. It doesn't require any artificial praise or anybody's acknowledgement. Even though they do many a times, but not required. How do you stay full? When you help others, when you develop the we philosophy. When you are so full that you develop that we philosophy. It's not only by me, it's not only of me, it's everybody prospering together, thinking about everybody's service to others. And when that we philosophy emerges, what happens? When it's a cooperate, when there is a competition, you cooperate. When there is an envy or jealousy, you love. When somebody is upset, you love. Those are the things happen. Then what happens when you do that? How many blessings will you collect? Lots and lots and lots of blessings. And what happens when you start getting full with the blessings? It starts overflowing. That's when you call, you have procured the wealth. And what does wealth, who is representing the wealth? Goddess Lakshmi. That is the real wealth. And that is power to cooperate. And you feel so good. You really don't need any. You start enjoying your beautiful qualities of your 7 qualities of your soul. Power, peace, purity, knowledge, bliss, happiness and love. These are beautiful 7 qualities of our soul, and we start enjoying them, still staying together in the regular world. We don't have to leave the world. We do not have to live a lot of pleasures of the lives. But stay detached, stay withdrawn, face the situation with all these powers, and you will be on your journey to discovery. And you will certainly discover, if the self-transformation is the goal, you will certainly discover how to live well in every situation. So these are my 8 spiritual powers. I have hopefully made it simplified enough for people to understand. I recommend one thing, that read this, listen to this video over and over again. Each time you do, you will get deeper and deeper. You will understand more. You will digest it more. It happened to me. While I was compiling this knowledge, I thought I had this knowledge and I was trying to write down compiling. But more and more I compiled, more and more I prepared for this video, deeper and deeper I found. And more I started looking at my own selves and killing all my demons, working on it. I may not be, I don't want to be hypocrite. I want to make sure I'm still working on it, but the knowledge is going to help me get there. I'm on my way to discovery, my journey to discovery. And that's what I would hope that you will do by listening to this over and over again. I guarantee you, each time you listen, you'll find something different, something deeper. And use this to yourself, pass it to your loved ones, your kids especially. They have the big return coming because they have a long life to live compared to ours. So they can make best in the new generation also. And for more channels, videos like this, subscribe to my channel, push a bell sign next to it, and you'll get the notifications. There are many videos on pipeline. On yoga, I've stopped doing a little bit because this holiday thing was more important to me. We'll back again on the yoga series. We'll also start this nutrition series. The introduction of the nutrition is already out. All those videos, sun salutations, different moon salutations, A, B, C, D, E, all of them are out. Now we're going to carry out more and more yoga and nutritional videos and health, and maybe much more in many departments. Good health and good nutrition, recipes, all those things will be on our pipeline. So look forward to seeing you again, and I hope you like this, and at least I am enjoying this. This is my reward. I feel so fulfilling right now that doesn't need to be praised. That's how I feel right now. That's the power to cooperate. So divine within me, thanks the divine within you, namaste to you, and thanks for listening. Thank you.